In a game where survival is never guaranteed, duo play isn't just about numbers. It's about strategy. Two players can split tasks efficiently. One gathers resources while the other defends or builds. This reduces risk compared to solo play, where mistakes mean instant death. Larger groups? They attract more attention in raids. But a duo can strike fast, secure key locations like Arctic bases or rare icebergs, and sustain pressure without drawing too much heat. It's the sweet spot, efficient, agile, and hard to predict. In a game where survival is never guaranteed, duo play isn't just about numbers, it's about strategy. Two players can split tasks efficiently. One gathers resources while the other defends or builds. This reduces risk compared to solo play, where mistakes mean instant death. Larger groups attract more attention and raids, but a duo can strike fast, secure key locations like Arctic bases or rare icebergs, and sustain pressure without drawing too much heat. It's the sweet spot, efficient, agile, and hard to predict. In Rust's Arctic, radiation spikes force players to flee except duos who exploit radiation resets. These brief windows, every 20 minutes, temporarily reduce radiation, letting them safely farm laptops and solar panels while others avoid the zone. It's a high-risk strategy. Clans either stockpiles, but timing raids during resets weakens enemies. The duo balances speed, defense, and patience, striking fast when radiation dips, then fortifying before the next wipe. Arctic isn't just cold. It's a chess match against time and opponents. In Rust's Arctic, radiation isn't just a hazard, it's an advantage. While most players hide from the deadly green glow, duos like us dive in, farming laptops and solar panels during resets when clans are weakest. But here's the catch. Nearby groups see our stockpiles and want them too. We've got to strike fast, defend smarter, and time raids right or risk losing everything before the next wipe. It's not just about surviving the cold. It's about outsmarting the predators lurking in the ice. In Rust's Arctic, the real battle isn't just about surviving radiation. It's about timing raids right. While most players avoid the green glow, we dive in during resets when clans are weakest, farming laptops and solar panels. But here's the catch. Nearby groups see our stockpiles and want them too. We've got to strike fast, defend smarter with code locks and metal doors, and minimize exposure without stifling growth. It's not just about surviving the cold. It's about outsmarting the predators lurking in the ice before the next wipe hits. In Rust, bigger groups often mean more firepower, but duos can outplay them with smarter tactics. By claiming high ground, we use height for early warnings and ambushes, catching enemies off guard. A well-placed stone wall or hidden door turns the tables, letting us pick off raiders one by one. It's not brute force, it's precision. We strike when they're weakest, using terrain like a chessboard to control the battlefield before they even realize we're there. In Rust, a DB mod, Deranged Behavior, makes players ignore pain or act erratically like a zombie with no fear. A zerg is a swarm of enemies that forces you to fight or flee. High-altitude builds give duos an edge. They spot raids early and ambush foes from hidden positions. But mistakes like leaving your base open can be deadly. In Rust, adaptability isn't just a skill, it's survival. When we lost that iceberg, it wasn't the end. We regrouped, analyzed where we went wrong, and adjusted our strategy. Maybe we misjudged timing or underestimated opponents, but failure taught us how to outsmart them next time. Like in football where players pivot mid-game, Rust demands quick thinking. It's about learning from mistakes. Just like a zerg, a large group of aggressive players forces you to retreat or risk everything. High-altitude builds aren't just for defense. They're about control, spotting enemies early, using terrain to your advantage, and striking when they're weakest. But even with these advantages, one wrong move can cost everything. It's not just about surviving. It's about outsmarting every challenge. Radiation resets in Rust aren't just about survival. They're a chance to strike when others hesitate. Arctic bases flood with high-value loot like laptops and solar panels. But competition thins during these moments. A duo can move faster, recycle critical parts undetected, and plan raids on weaker clans nearby. It's not about brute force, it's about timing and adaptability. Miss this window, and you're left scrambling while others dominate. But when we nail it, early warnings, hidden doors, and precise strikes, we control the battlefield before anyone else realizes our play. In a game where every second counts, solo players often underestimate the power of teamwork. Without a partner to share the load, you're forced to rush decisions, leaving your base exposed or getting caught in fights you can't win alone. High-altitude builds aren't just for defense. They're about control, spotting raids early and striking when enemies are weakest. But even with the best strategies, one wrong move can cost everything. Like a solo player charging into a Zerg swarm of aggressive players, forcing you to retreat or risk all-in clashes. Radiation resets aren't just survival moments, they're tactical goldmines. When radiation drops, Arctic bases flood with high-value loot that most avoid due to danger. A duo can move faster, recycle critical parts undetected, and plan raids on weaker clans. Miss this window, and you're left scrambling while others dominate. In Rust, the sea changes when you have a partner. A duo isn't just two players. It's a shift in strategy, a way to outmaneuver larger groups without brute force. Think of it like football. One player can't block every pass or cover every gap, but two can pivot as a unit, reading opponents' moves before they happen. That same teamwork applies here. When we lost the iceberg, our first major setback, it wasn't the end. We watched how others played, noted their mistakes, and adjusted. Like in sports, where a team adapts mid-game to counter a rival's playbook, Rust demands quick thinking. High-altitude builds aren't just about defense. They're about control, spotting enemies early, using terrain like natural walls, and striking when they least expect it. But one wrong move, like charging into a Zerg, a swarm of aggressive players, and you're overwhelmed. Radiation resets are a chance to strike. When the screen fades white, Arctic bases flood with laptops, solar panels, high-value loot most avoid due to danger. A duo moves faster, recycles critical parts undetected, and plans raids on weaker clans. Miss this window, and you're left scrambling while others dominate. Teamwork isn't just survival. It's about controlling the battlefield before anyone else realizes your play. In a game where every second counts and survival is never guaranteed, the difference between winning and losing often comes down to one simple thing: teamwork. When we first set our sights on that rare iceberg above underwater labs, it wasn't just about claiming a piece of land. It was about outsmarting 1,000 players racing for the same prize. We saw others charge in blindly, only to get wiped out by raiders or swept away by the tide. But with two minds working together, we learned to read the map, time our strikes, and adapt when our first plan failed. It wasn't about brute force. It was about patience, precision, and knowing when to strike. Just like a football team pivoting mid-game to counter their opponent's playbook, that iceberg became more than a location. It became a test of strategy, resilience, and the power of working as one. Every player on the server knows the iceberg is the prize rare, high-ground control over underwater labs that spit out instant respawns like a cheat code. But rushing it? That's how you end up in the ocean, chasing your own reflection while a three-man group laughs from the surface. We learned the hard way: speed kills in Rust. The real win isn't claiming it first. It's surviving long enough to claim it smart. Like a football team studying their opponent's playbook mid-game. We watched how others failed. Saw them charge into Zerg's swarms of players with deranged mods and no mercy, and get wiped out. We didn't. Because two minds read the battlefield better than one. That iceberg wasn't just land. It was a test of timing, resilience, and knowing when to strike.